Okay, so over the next 5 or 6 minutes, the hope is that we do a little bit of helping and training some people that are able to, so that they can help budget their finances for their business. I'm going to call the class Budgeting 101, Budgeting for Your Business 101. And this is really for serious people that are serious about reaching their goals and being able to build a business and becoming core. Um, as you can see in my first slide, um, what will it take to become core? And I kind of went through some expenses from a business building perspective. And we have $34 a month. We'll go to BSM. That's just the standing order streaming. We have technology tools, which is BMP, BWTV, and WebSpace. Comes at $39.95 a month. So we'll just say 40. Most of us live in a place where we have an open meeting once a week. In Minneapolis here, our open meeting is $5. If yours may vary a little bit, I've seen some $4, some $6, depending on where you live. But I'm just going to use $20, so 4 meetings at $5 each. Quarterly functions. We have major functions scattered around the country, once every 3 months. And usually the tickets run somewhere around $135, give or take, to get into the function, and then plus some additional expenses, maybe travel expenses, maybe hotel expenses. I did not include food expenses because you're going to eat no matter if you're at the function or not. So we didn't include that. But the other thing that we did include was, so that brings us to like $201 a month, I think. And that $201 a quarter, give or take, you could maybe get away with that. It might be a little on the low end as far as going to a function, but depending on how far you have to go and how you have to get there. So keep that in mind. Quarterly BBSs, usually 3 to 4 times a year, we have local business building seminars where somebody comes in and speaks, and then they're usually $20 to get into those. And so I just said a monthly savings of $7 a month for that. I also included $32 for books, for a standing order book of the month program, which is usually somewhere in the $15 range, and some extra CDs or some extra streaming. So you have a little bit of extra stuff that you can educate you more than just the minimum wage basics. So that brings the what I call the invest in me total to $200. So what you're investing in you, into your own growth, your personal growth through the BWW system is $200 a month. And then I have products. I'll show you later how you can do 110 PV with about $370 after shipping and handling. So we'll go over that. That brings your total investment to, let's just say, $570 a month, right? And I know a lot of you right now are freaking out. You're like, where am I going to get an extra $570 a month? And the purpose of this is to, this whole training is to get us to the point where we can figure out how to make that $570 a month fit into your existing budget. So that's the exciting part. So that is tab number 1. The next thing is, again, where does that money come from? So I put together just a brief story about how we can get the money. $345 is going to come from your existing budget, and I'll go over that on the next sheet. But basically, it's about minimizing some of the expenses that you currently have, and focusing those expenses on products that you can get from your business instead of wherever you're buying them today. So the other is a PV check for $75. If you're a new person and you get into the 6% bracket your first month, because you got a couple of downline people building the business with you, you do your 150, you easy make $75. And the goal is through some sales. So the goal is to have you and your upline be able to help create immediately 5 to 7 customers that you can do $150 worth of sales to. That brings your total income $570. And remember, I said to be core and to build a business is going to take you an expense of about $570. So we're going to be able to teach people right from the beginning how to break even and not lose money when they start building their business. Okay. So now, how do I free up the money? When you take a look at budgeting, there's really a couple of different categories that every budgeting school, every budgeting technique will teach you. The first category is fixed expenses. These are expenses that no matter what month it is, they're probably always going to be about the same amount. Okay. Example, rent. Usually people sign a lease agreement or some sort of a rental agreement, and they pay $500 a month for rent, right? Maybe you have some car loans or student loans or credit card debt, something like that. I'm using this this as an example. That's another fixed. Maybe some household bills. I use some of the stuff that we have in my household. Excel, which is our electric. CenterPoint, which is my gas. The city I have to pay for for trash removal. Cable and internet. I don't need the cable, but I need the internet to be able to run my business from my house. Cell phone, and then of course auto insurance. Kind of hard to have cars and stuff without the auto insurance. That brings in this example, I'm using a $2,000 a month budget. Okay, kind of less than some, more than others, more than some others. So it's kind of in the middle of the road. Some people are going to be looking at me like, $2,000 bucks, man. I wish I had that. I wouldn't be building a business if I had 2,000. And other people are looking at us going, wow, if I only had $2,000 to spend every month, I couldn't even pay my mortgage. So it's kind of a middle of the road budget we're looking at, and that's kind of what we're used on here. But here's one of the things. So we on our job, our income comes from our job, and it's $2,000 a month is kind of what we use, right? And so we take a look then we looked at the fixed. Now let's look at the variable expenses. Variable expenses are things that fluctuate a little bit from month to month. Okay, your groceries. Okay, maybe one month you ate a lot of meat, a lot of hamburger, a lot of beef, and so your grocery bill is a little higher. The next month, mom came to visit and mom bought groceries for you, so your grocery bill is a little bit less. I tell people to take an average of about 3 months. A 3-month, 90-day period is a good way to find out what the average month is, because some months like I said, you're going to be a little higher, some months a little less. So I'm using the groceries. We have 300 eating out. I put 300, which at first I thought was really high for a lot of people. And then I realized that $300 is $10 a day eating out, right? If you're a coffee drinker, a Starbucks drinker, Caribou, whatever, you spend $6-7 at Caribou every day. If you just like to eat one meal out, a lot of people in their lunch breaks go eat one meal out, and they drop $10 a day. And sometimes, I don't do that every day, Jason. Yeah, okay. But then, on the Saturday or Friday night or Thursday night, whatever, you take your wife and your kids out and you drop $70, right? So I think that's pretty fair to say that an average of $300 or $30 a day is pretty fair. I put gas $150. If you're a one vehicle family, that might be feasible. Entertainment $75. I think even college kids, entertainment, I would say, are things like maybe buying video games, okay, or Apple iTunes stuff, right? Or renting videos, movies to watch, either at the Redbox or Amazon or some area like that. Okay, maybe you go out with your friends and you go bowling or whatever kind of entertainment, to movies, those sort of things. And then you'll notice I have a category for Amway and BWW, and I put those as variable at first, but I really think that in order to make this successful, you have to move those expenses from variable expenses to fixed expenses. You've got to know, we now know that it's going to take us $590, about $370 in the Amway, and about $200 into Brit Worldwide, okay, to be able to be a core IBO and do our PV and make sure that we're getting all the right tools and associations that we need to be able to move our business forward, okay? So I would really kind of move those out, maybe put them into the fixed expenses category, and we can just kind of do that real quick right here, so that you guys understand what it is that I'm talking about. Okay, and let me just fix that real quick. And all right, so that we're going to put that right here. We're going to make this one 370. And we'll make this one 200. I'm going to just get rid of this. Okay. Now, all right, so our fixed expenses went up. That leaves us a little less money. Remember, we only have a $2,000 budget, right? So that leaves us a little less money to be able to do miscellaneous stuff, okay? But what I'm proposing is, out of that $300 that you had in groceries, let's only spend $200 of it on groceries, okay? Let's take another $100 of it and let's move that towards our business. Out of the eating out, let's cut our eating out way down, okay? Eating out is a huge expense for a lot of people that they don't even realize how much money they spend eating out. Let's cut that down by about 60 some percent, and let's only spend $130 eating out every month, okay? Can't really do much with gas. We've got to go places. We've got to show the plan for people. I'm not saying now. Let's decrease our entertainment bill. Maybe don't buy a video game every month. Maybe only go out once a month rather than once a week. Okay, just until you get your business off the ground and you get some additional income coming through it, right? And what we're doing is, now we used to spend a night out every week with our friends, and now a lot of our friends are partners with us in a business opportunity, and so some of that expense that used to go into entertainment is now going into, remember the first category, we're talking about some of the associations, maybe $20 of that is going into open meetings or the functions or some of those sort of things. So we have that ability to be able to do. And then, so we just, what you can see is the example I used here. We took $100 out of groceries. We took $170 out of eating out. We took $45 out of our entertainment budget. And then there's always a miscellaneous. Everybody has a miscellaneous budget where they're not exactly sure where those expenses go, or they don't have a category to fit them in because there's not something they do on a regular basis. And so let's take $30 out of that, and let's decrease that other. If it's not in on our budget, we're just not going to buy it for a few months. Okay, that frees up, as you can see, $345, right, out of our budget that we already have, right? Now, I said, where was the money going to come from, right? From our budget, $345. Okay, so that's how we did that, right? So now, without any additional money, okay, we're going to be able, now remember, okay, we had a $2,000 budget, okay, and we had $150 in sales, plus we had a PV check for $75. So you can see now that our real budget now is $225, right? And so now you take this 1705 plus the 520, and you get 225. Okay, so our new budget now is total budget is $225 because we've made some money in our business to help increase that total budget. Okay, hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. Now, what to purchase? How am I going to be able to do 100 PV, Jason, with $345? Okay, and I've come up with a couple of different examples here. Option number one, you can see we have double X, a case of excess juice, a case of regular excess, a vitamin D, shampoo, conditioner. I chose the peanut butter bars because they're my favorite. Toothpaste, and then I have the mixed nuts. I think you have to find a couple of different snacks because remember, we're decreasing your eating out budget and your grocery budget, so you have to replace that food with something. We got to eat, right? Okay, especially people like me, we got to eat. Okay. And so that comes out to be about 72.22 PV, all right? Your cost is going to be about $236. That's your cost. And then what I'm going to suggest you do is find 5 to 7 customers. I think this is a very key to every new IBO in the first couple of months. You really need to find 5 to 7 customers that kind of rotate. Maybe 3 of them order this month and 2 of them order next month or something like that, right? So that you always got some different things coming in and you always got some customer volume going. I chose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 products that are relatively simple to buy, low-cost products, not great PV, not great profit, but there's something that you can move to help you do your 110 PV, right? And obviously you can see I chose vitamin D, a shampoo, a conditioner, 1 case of excess, 1 men's pack, and 1 women's pack. I didn't choose anything high dollar on this one. So for the beginning customer, it's easier to sell sometimes some of the low-hanging fruit, and that's kind of what we chose here. When you do this every month, that's 110 PV. Your total cost is $369.28. That way we got to 370 before. You should be able to retail it and sell it and make 40 to 45, maybe even $50, depending on how you choose to sell the products with the markup. So there you have it. There's a couple other options you can choose that I've put together here that do basically the same thing. This one is a little bit, you spend a little less money. You actually only have 2 products that you sell to customers. So maybe maybe you can get those 5 to 7 and get them focus on these 2 products. You can do 33.61 PV every month just on 2 products selling to customers. again, that's going to get you, a profit of about $45 or so. So now you're not going to get rich, but remember, our goal in the first couple of months is to be able to cover our expenses to get the business off the ground. So hopefully this makes a little bit of sense. Hopefully that it wasn't too confusing. But really, remember, the beginning of what we do is we have to figure out a way to, our expenses are going to increase in this business by $570, right? Every business has an expense. And the faster that you get on all of these tools and you become a core IBO, the faster your business starts to grow, the faster you'll put more people into the business, the faster you'll get your 1 by 25 done so that you can start your 3 by 50, okay? And so that's really the focus that we have here, is being able to get that done fast, get yourself educated so that when you do get the 125 done, you're educated enough to be able to help your second and third teams come on and really take advantage of the business opportunity. That's kind of all I have for you today. Hopefully it made some sense. Hope everyone gets an opportunity. If you do have questions, definitely we'll be around. So we'll talk to y'all later. Thanks. Bye.